All right, welcome to Humpdays.
Welcome back, Humpers. We're the Rosellis. It's Rebecca.
And Alfie. I never get used to that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how Kylie Jenner just was complaining about how everyone's so hard on her. She's out a whole episode trying to make her seem normal again.
She's crying over her new face.
Yeah, like she's pretending to have a candid conversation. And then also, later on, we're going to be talking about Justin Timberlake and his PR team trying to make him look cool after his DUI arrest.
And we're going to talk about Charli XCX and Taylor Swift's beef.
Ooh, that's right.
So we're keeping a couple musicians going, and one, what is she famous for? The world's youngest billionaire. She is upset. Yeah, fraudulently, but let's be real, every billionaire is
they're all fraudulent.
Fraudulent. You can't make $1 billion without committing fraud, guys.
Yeah.
So we take that away from her, but
So what happened with Kylie? Like you were the one that showed me this. So like she was at a Paris event, she didn't like the photos that were taken.
Yeah, she's been getting a lot of hate online. She was at a which is not a surprise.
I don't think she really gets hate. I think she gets like genuine criticism.
Yeah, I think people have a point 100%. And because she basically has kind of botched her face. Like she's gotten so much done at such a young age that she is looking, this happens to a lot of women where they look a little bit older than their age and they look a little bit like than they should because they started doing that stuff too early, like especially filler.
Yeah.
It makes your face a little bit expanded when it's like the whole point is when you start losing some of your fat in your face as you age, you should fill it then, right?
Yeah.
But younger people are doing it to kind of like mold their face and it just doesn't like stay in place. And it was too experimental and too new. Now they don't recommend it as much. But anyway, she's been crying because of the beauty standards that her and her sisters have set, profited off of, lied to everyone about and denied. Yeah, she's upset because now she's a victim of those.
Well,
beauty
she
standards.
casually brought up the filler thing. She casually brought up that she used lip fillers.
Now, yeah.
Like, now she brings it up.
Yeah.
Like, she got...
After she sold a million lip kits.
That is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, and it's totally obvious if you look like what you did look like. Because she mentioned in the clip, like, oh, when I was 13, people compare me since I was 13. It's just like, they haven't been comparing you since you're 13. They're comparing you now to when you're 13. Because when you're 13, your lips look like completely like straight. Like you look like a white person, and now you look Persian.
That's true. She literally said in this clip too, she was like, I'm going through this whole journey of like dissolving half of my lip filler. And I'm like, that sentence alone is so funny to me. It's so funny to be like, I'm dissolving half of it, guys. Like I'm basically me now.
Well, the whole thing was just like, the episode hasn't even come out yet. They just released it to make them seem like normal people. Like,
yes.
So it's not even an episode that came out.
Side.
It's just this clip to like make them seem normal and you'd be sympathetic towards this person, but it's just like, I'm dissolving half my face, guys. Like, it's just like,
I'm just like you now. Like,
I'm just like, like it's almost fully dissolved.
I'm not superficial anymore,
Oh
guys.
my God.
I haven't
Only
made
half.
millions.
I decided to go to Paris and not use that much makeup at this red carpet event where I'm wearing a $20,000 dress and like have someone do my hair for $5,000. Like, come on, people. I'm just like you. I have feelings.
I think people wouldn't be as upset if she hadn't like denied all the surgeries for so long. Like if it was an actress who was getting all these surgeries done and was later like, oh man, I just hate that I'm like being criticized for just trying to keep up in this industry, and she was like very open about getting it would be fine. But no, the problem is that the Jenners and Kardashians have directly profited off of lying and gaslighting us about these not subtle surgeries. Like these are not subtle changes that we're seeing. It's very obvious, and she's saying it's filler, and it's not just filler. Like it's not. Her whole body is different. Her sister's body is completely different. All of them look like completely different, and we can all tell. They look great. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, now I guess this one's a little botched, but it's like, you can't go around profiting off of it and then be like, oh no, because it's like a lot of little girls have grown up thinking, oh, she's saying she never did that.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just ugly.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, no, you're just poor.
Yeah, you're just poor.
You just can't afford all these surgeries and injections and Botox, and it is ridiculous. But the problem is, it's not that she does these the problem is not that she just does these plastic surgeries and denies it. It's the fact that like what people hate is if you're just hot and rich.
Right.
Like that's what's annoying. So like that's the message you're sending. Just be hot and rich and you'll be popular. So it like if you had a personality, then it'd be completely different. Because look at someone like Jennifer Lawrence. Like she's had work done, but she's also really funny. Like she's hosted Jimmy Kimmel the show before, and like she was funnier than him, but funnier than he's been in years. And she just did a comedy where like she carried the whole, like she was the funny one in that movie. I forget what it was called, but she got naked in it.
She's one
looked
of those
hot, but also was funny in it.
Yeah, she looked hot and was funny.
Yeah, so like she looked hot and funny. So,
and she is talented. She's a great actress. Yeah.
So it's like she doesn't get that much hate. And she's way hotter than the Kardashians for sure.
Yeah.
But you don't see her getting hate because she has a personality. So it's like I think that goes behind a lot of it. And also with them, it's just like they won't know how to react to that, because someone like Jennifer Lawrence that has a personality, it's like she can walk into a room and like she'll be able to joke around with people and people just like her. So she will be able to age gracefully.
Yes.
But these people like the Kardashians, where they're just hot now. Like Kim right now just said, "Oh, I only have 10 years
she
left."
She literally
of being
came out
hot.
with a statement of that. Yes.
And it's just like you treat everyone around you that you can't use as help.
Yeah.
If you can't get something from somebody, you treat them as help. And as soon as your looks go, life's going to hit you hard, because it doesn't matter how rich you are. It's just like no one will want to be in your company because you can't do anything for them anymore, because all you sell is just being good looking.
It's the J-Lo effect.
It's the J-Lo effect. Yeah. That's true. Well, but J-Lo's still hot though. So she has that going for her.
She still also can dance and everything.
Yeah.
She could turn it around by
J-Lo
just focusing on other things. But no, but even Kim saying that statement is so crazy, right?
That's
to
weird.
just come out and say, I only have 10 years left. That's telling all of us that we only have, I guess, until because she probably looks like she's in her, 30s now. So I guess we all just expire at 30. She's just like reinforcing that.
Well,
all of this is anti-aging.
She has 10 years left because she has no personality. So let's get that straight.
Sure.
She does.
Right.
And I agree with it. You don't have a personality. You spent all these years not being funny. You spent you have your own show, and not once have I been, oh wow, she's like relatable, funny, like smart. You even went to law school, and I still don't think you're smart. This is like, yeah, you only have 10 years left.
Well, she is. I think she's smart.
Well, okay.
I do, because she's able to make this she's a great businesswoman.
I think she knows how to sell herself. I think like she's not like she's not like she's not like
Oh my God.
Your millennials showing, Alfie.
like she's not like she's not like dumb, but it's just like you're not smart, like you're not someone that
She's not interesting, man.
She's not an intellect. She's not like fun. That'd be an interesting, fun person to hang out with. Yeah,
No,
you know
you're
how to
right.
sell your body. Like, oh, big whoop. You know how to be hot on camera. That's not really.
You know how to use
smart.
Facetune.
You know how to use Facetune.
Yeah.
But it's just, I just think they're terrible people. And I think there's just, I've said it multiple times, like they're terrible people.
Yeah.
Like they don't treat people right. They're just terrible people. They use everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just good. And her saying like, oh, people are mean to me online. It's just like, there's literally clips online of your family around a table discussing the work done you've had on your face.
Even if I did get so much surgery and I have this and I got all these things, I still don't think it's okay to talk about someone's looks. I agree.
Sure, at first. Right now, I want her lips. You've seen them in person? When she first got it done, they were great. They were fine. They were perfect size, and they looked natural. I mean, well, she's also just burned her face. You know, she made her eyebrows a little thicker.
Yeah.
On their show that they put out to the world.
Yes.
There's nothing that people said in the comment section that's worse than what your family has said about you. It's like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I could have done, she could have done less on her eyebrows, or like something about like, like they're like literally picking out your face. So it's like, it's your family dynamic that does this.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they literally force it on every girl out there that can't afford surgeries. Like there's so many girls now like getting nose jobs done at their 15, 14,
Yeah.
16.
And they show a picture of her.
Yeah.
The
And it's just
doctor.
like, this is what I want. I want to look like, and that's the thing. Like, everyone knows that they're lying. Like, even like 15-year-olds, like, no, like, I need this nose. Like, this is like, this is like,
Even 15-year-olds.
like, even
know.
15-year-olds, like, yeah, like, that's not possible. Like, there's no way you can go from this to this.
Yeah.
They learn really fast.
Yeah. Yeah. And she literally broke down crying in this episode.
Well, allegedly, like, that was fake. It was just like, she pretended to cry, then the other sister came in to just cover the face.
true.
It was just like, it was very, it was, that's
There's
why
too
it was
much
like,
Botox to
that's
cry.
why it was like very strategic blocking, because it's like you had the producer feeding her lines, like leading questions. Like, what made you feel vulnerable? Remember to say vulnerable in your answer.
They do that.
They do that.
That's actually legit. That's actually a true reality TV.
So they have these producers trying their best to make them look normal, and then
Yeah.
they block this scene where she's talking to her sister, and then like she's like, because she can't cry because she can't move her
she
face.
has
So it's
Botox,
just she made the noise. She went,
Like Kim.
like it's supposed to come out, and then the producer in the back's like, go cover her face, and then like the other sister came in and covered her face, and gave her a hug.
Because they get Botox in their bunny lines here, because if you get them here and here, then you overcompensate with your nose, which makes your nose wrinkle. And then so now they're getting Botox here. So the crying face is truly like everything's paused and it's just the mouth. It's just like
Yeah.
and a slight squint.
Oh my god! And just her saying that I went to Paris at this event, and I decided not to wear much makeup. I bullshit. And then not only that, then she backtracks, says, well, the lighting was bad, the angle was bad. It was just like, no, like I looked great. It wasn't me.
I think they're not used to seeing their own faces.
Like
because,
in real life.
Because everything's face tuned, right? So they don't even I think they take a bunch of pictures, send it to their Photoshop team, and then they alter it before they see it. Like I bet they can't even look at their real photos anymore.
Do you think they don't even have real mirrors in their house? It's just like digitally enhanced.
Maybe. Honestly, they would be the first to adopt that. Yeah. No, but it's their mom. It's their mom that has like reinforced this crazy idea that that's all their value is in. And I mean, I guess it's not a crazy idea because it kind of is. Like it's but it's like manifested because she's put that idea in their head, and that's like their main priority. And so it's devastating to them to have people criticize them and attack them about that when really it's like, get used to it.
That's true. It's like they're in Hollywood. It's all about who you sleep with, and well, they controlled that. It's just like, well, if it's gonna be all about who you sleep with, like let's just make our own sex tape. You get to choose who you sleep with, and we'll release that, and then just our family will just piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
So it's just like she probably explained it to Kim like that, like, hey, listen, do you want to sleep with Harvey Weinstein secretly with his deformed penis, or do you want to sleep with your boyfriend and just release that video to the world?
Oh my God.
You pick, because we're getting famous, sweetheart.
Yeah.
You pick, because our family's gonna rise to the
This
top.
is your Sophie's choice,
This is your
Kim.
Sophie's choice, Kim.
Oh my God. Yeah, I wonder how they'll continue to try to like fight for people's sympathy, but this definitely isn't the way to do it.
Well, it's just a fake PR stunt. And then like with Timberlake,
Yeah.
do you want to move on to that one?
Sure, yeah.
With
You were the one who told me about this.
Well, okay, so like first of all, like he got pulled over for a DUI, and honestly, like it was so funny, like because he's another guy that like people are just sick of. I think
Yeah.
it's just because the whole Britney thing, and he's also like a very insincere person. Mm-hmm. Like whenever he is trying to promote something, he always brings up Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Like whenever there's like any project, any
100%.
tour, he always brings up Britney.
Yeah.
And like he even outed like sleeping with her. Yeah, I took her virginity on like a radio station, which is like pretty lame.
Yep.
And it's just like, knowing what we know now about Britney, it's just like, yeah, you probably didn't even really ask her out. Like Timberlake acts like he's a player. Mm-hmm. It's just like, well, you were probably like, you're a Mickey Mouse hub, like, and everyone controls Britney, so like everyone probably told her to date you.
Yeah.
Like
the
only person
their
she
agents got together.
Like the only person she probably really dated on her own was Kevin Federline.
Yeah, they were like, please, no, don't do this. Britney, we're making millions.
After that, they really started taking control. Like they gave her a little bit of leash, and like Federline, couple kids, like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah. Here's your backup dancer.
Yeah, it's like, no. Then they really took control. But it's like then they got put together, and then because Timberlake always acts like a player, and say, okay, well, who else did you date? Oh, Cameron Diaz, who kind of went from obscurity to starring in a movie with Jim Carrey, who kind of has ties with Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Really? So she went from Harvey Weinstein to you? Are you really a player, Timberlake? Are you really that smooth? I don't think so. I think that like it was just a very easy like they both did it for their careers.
Yeah.
Because they always break up with them,
100%.
and it's just like, oh, whatever. I don't really like that guy. They don't really speak highly of him. Everyone that breaks up with him doesn't really speak highly of him. Well, yeah, I dated him. Whatever. They don't shit talk him.
Sure.
But and like his thing with Janet Jackson was that whole Super Bowl thing where like I'm gonna have you naked by the end of this song, rips off the shirt, and he's like, I didn't know that would happen. And like Janet Jackson just gets crucified, banned from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why wouldn't you have her back? Like, yeah, grow up.
Yeah. It's true.
It's
He
just a
just
nipple.
seems like a little like scaredy cat guy.
Yeah, well,
like he
he's-
doesn't seem like a dude. He seems like he would have thrived with Rat Summer, how it's happening, but he lost that opportunity. Rat Boy Summer.
Rat Boy Summer, yeah. Well, he thrived. Like everyone thought he was cool. But
Yeah.
I mean, he did have that hairdo. But then like the Janet thing really pissed me off because it's just like you could have been cool, but he's not cool. Because he was a Mickey Mouse Club and he's a part of the machine and he just does what he's told. Like just like in the Punked episode, like they had to cut it short because he started crying.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's funny. What was the prank?
Well, the prank was it was like, honestly, if like someone did this to me, like, because so what happened was, so the prank was like you didn't pay your taxes, we're like taking all your stuff, and then
I remember that.
So
he's crying over his stuff. Oh my
yeah,
god,
so,
yes.
So he's like
Oh
he's
my
calling
God,
his
that's
mom
so
like a little
embarrassing.
bitch, and he's like calling his mom and he's crying. But the part would have made me snap was like he had this guitar that was a gift. And then he's like, careful with that. That was a gift. And the guy just starts stepping on it and breaking it. And he starts crying. He's like, oh.
Oh, it's probably meaningful
And then,
for
and then a
him.
couple of years later, he's in a movie where he stars as this Marine. It's like, I can't see you as a Marine if you're crying over a guy you could obviously beat up breaking your guitar. It's just like,
He totally overshot.
it's just like, no.
It's like, first just be like not a crying little bit.
Yeah, so it's just like that's why I think everything's just like publicity. Every relationship he gets into is a publicity, because it's just like that must give any girl the ick.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, this guy's destroying
He
your
is a
stuff.
walking ick.
You're not like saying, hey, stop that, don't touch my stuff, put that down, or else we're gonna have a problem. It was like there was no pushback.
Yeah.
He was just crying immediately. It was just like
bitch.
like strangers are in your house taking your stuff and there's no pushback. Like, you're just like, how's this happening? Like, what? It obviously was a prank. Like, because this doesn't happen. Like, you get something in the mail saying like you need to pay taxes. Like, it just doesn't start with them taking your stuff.
Dropping your guitar. Like, this is the IRS. Like, yeah, we're government officials here, destroying your gifts.
Yeah.
This shit's personal.
So then he gets this guy. So then he gets so he gets a DUI in the Hamptons, where all
Yeah.
the rich people are, in like where's it, like upper New
Well,
York?
first
right?
when
Yeah,
you
it's
broke
upper
this
New York.
news to me, you said,
Oh yeah, that was the funniest thing. So he got pulled over for a DUI, and I was really hoping this news was real. So it was just like it said, but it was from a site called.
we have to tell you guys it's fake because we're an accurate, thoroughly investigative.
Well, because I follow Pop Crave. I follow Pop Crave, is a very
Channel.
popular channel. But this one's called Poo Crave, and it got me. But it got a lot of people too. So it says Justin Timberlake.
Let's just take a moment. That's genius.
Yeah, it is genius. I'll just put it on the middle one, and I'll put it up. Put it, the main. So like, it's called Poo Crave, and then it says Justin Timberlake allegedly had traces of Molly, poppers, Truvada, and coke in his bloodstream following his DWI arrest in New York. So poppers is what like loosens your butt, like
Yeah.
it loosens your butt, and Molly is like the sex drug. And Truvada is like what people take, like PrEP is like when they have AIDS. So like when they want to have
Yeah.
sex.
Gay.
So it's just like, so it's just
prevent
like
AIDS, yeah.
people have to prevent AIDS. So it's just like people are saying that he's on Molly, coke, and he has a loosened butthole, and he has AIDS. It's just like the rumor of him being gay, a bottom, and high on Molly. It's just like, and everyone bought it. Like, some people are like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, everyone's like,
Makes
yeah, I
sense.
get
He's
that.
gay and is a bottom.
Yeah, he does cry a lot.
He cries a lot. We saw that Punked episode. He's a gay bottom with AIDS.
He's bringing.
So like no one questioned for a while. Like people had to come up and be like, no, this is fake. Like his people had to say, that's a fake account.
This
like,
is a fake account. Please don't stop spreading it.
Yeah.
And then the news itself was like so much less exciting.
Yeah.
But when
Well,
you
then-
first told
but
me,
the gays actually started coming out. The gays were like, no, it's not true. Not that we don't want him to feel shame, but like he's not interesting enough to be gay. Like that's what
oh, they rejected him.
yeah, because they're all on Britney's side. He's like, no, he's not interesting enough to be gay or a bottom. He's just like,
They're like, we reject him.
that's like, no, we reject
That's
him.
kind of true.
Yeah.
He
He's
doesn't have bottom
giving.
energy.
So-
He's bringing broke back mountain.
Yeah, Brokeback Mountain, baby. But then the thing came out where the guy who pulled him over gave him a warning, like, hey, don't drive.
Yeah.
And then he decided to drive. And then he gets pulled over and he's like, oh, this is the guy didn't know who he was because he's a new cop. I think the guy was born in like 95, but we'll get to that. But then he said, oh, this is going to ruin the tour. And the cop's like, what tour? He's like, the world tour.
I did read that.
It's just like, oh, you're so lame.
Because the
it's-
kid was like, the guy who pulled him over was a brand new cop. He was
Yeah.
like just fresh out of school. So he just like doesn't know who Justin Timberlake really is. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have the same weight. Like everybody that's at Justin Timberlake's shows now when he's touring, they're like, 40-year-old mothers at this point.
in the mid-30s, yeah?
Mid-30s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so he didn't know who he was, and he was like, oh, this is gonna really affect the tour. And the kid's just like, what do you mean? What tour? And he's like, the world tour. why don't you know who I am?
Yeah, like everyone takes care of me. What's going on? Like, everyone makes decisions for me.
So sad.
Yeah, well, and his mugshot's actually ridiculously funny too.
He
It's
looks
just,
like such a little bitch.
it looks like you just got caught drinking and drive. And then he said, I only had one martini. The fact that he says I had one martini, like a little bitch. Like, just like you can say I had a beer. Like, you can say like I had like a rum and coke.
Yeah.
It's just like no.
Yeah,
And then,
2 shots.
I was just like, I was just performing. I was performing at the bar. Things got out of hand, but I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I'm Justin Timberlake. Nice to meet you. Like, say something. I don't know, like something cool. Be cool to a cop. Like, don't be a whiny little bitch. Like, the world tour, and then, but the
I'm
whole
a singer.
but then like he gets his thing. He looks lame coming out, and then his PR team goes into overdrive, and they just try to slander the cop. They're like, "Oh, he's new on the force. Everyone in town hates him." And then like they come out the poor guy. They're like harassed. Well, like he does look kind of like gingery, so it's like he's this ginger guy. We'll put him on the screen. He's 26.
Says the gingery man.
Yeah, I know. I have to have this guy's back, but he's like a scary looking ginger. Like he's got like the really pale. Like no,
Like Ed Sheeran level.
It is like Ed Sheeran, but like Ed Sheeran's like non-threatening looking. Like I think when gingers like are tall and like built and like they have like a lot of the red, I think it is kind of a little bit scary. It is like
McDavid.
McDavid isn't that much of a ginger, but I think this guy's like 6'4". I know this stuff because it says he played lacrosse, but they did a deep dive on the guy.
Lacrosse is Canada's national sport.
So they're saying because this happened they're saying it happened in Sag Harbor. Mm-hmm. So that is like upper New York. It's like where all the rich people are, and they're calling him like, yeah, this guy's known for pulling over people for drinking too much. Like he's just nobody likes him there. Like they always
What
said,
a buzzkill.
yeah, this guy's like this is Timberlake's people saying this. They fed this story to everybody, like your TMZs, your Daily Mails, your People Magazine. Like this, they're all saying the same thing about this poor kid who's 26 years old, just started the force. And they're like, yeah, they're calling him the little redheaded dipshit and the Sag Harbor Nazi. They call him the Sag Harbor Nazi because he pulls people over for drinking and driving. That's just
my God.
And like there's reporters going to this guy's house and like the parents are getting harassed and it's just like because he pulled over Timberlake. He's not even that important. They're just trying to like belittle this guy or like just make sure this stuff goes away for Timberlake so it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
So they want to make this cop look bad.
Do you think it even would affect his tour sales? Like
It hasn't affected any of
It
his dates because
wouldn't.
he doesn't have to go to his tour. So he hasn't missed any dates.
yeah,
It's not affecting it.
it's probably fine.
He's
Why
like-
do they
It
have
didn't
to bury
ruin
this
anything.
guy?
It
didn't
didn't even
ruin anything.
affect it. It didn't even, like.
He was
you
out in a
can't
couple hours.
It honestly might help him to be a cool badass.
But
that
he's
got
not because of
arrested.
how he handled it. Like,
Yeah. He cried again.
he cried. He could have been a gay icon.
What about my
He
tour?
could have been like, yeah, I was on Molly and I'm on prep.
Yeah. He could have just leaned in.
Hop on.
That actually makes me more suspicious that his team went so crazy to cover it up.
Yeah.
That makes me think he actually is
Okay.
bringing bros back.
Well,
Mountain.
he is a little bitch. Like, it's just like him and his wife don't look like they're in love. I think it's just they're just staged.
Yeah. No, that could be.
You never because you never see him like. I don't know. It just doesn't look like he's ever romantically involved with anyone. Like they never like make eyes. Like he doesn't make eyes with everyone he's dating.
I haven't noticed that.
Yeah, so it's kind of full. But
I actually just haven't seen him like in any kind of. He just seems like he's always alone. I kind of forgot.
yeah, he's very self-involved. Like he's very phony and self-involved.
Yeah.
But
He's like the male J-Lo.
like a male, yeah, she's male jello. That's
But he
that's
actually
the worst.
can't really dance, and we all thought he
Yeah,
did.
that was true.
But he's
Yeah.
not good at dancing.
That is actually the worst generation. Like, let's be honest. Like anyone that grew up famous from the year like 1999 to the year 2009, that's
its
the worst.
heyday, yeah.
In its heyday, that's the worst generation.
Yeah.
They're feeling it the worst now.
Yeah,
They're
yeah. It's a drop now.
they're having a
Like,
tough
I have
time.
to sling shampoo. Are you kidding
Oh
me?
my god. And then
Yeah.
the last thing we want to talk about was
So Charli XCX came out with an iconic album, Brat. She has been, this artist has been working her buns off to just get into the scene. So she's had big hits like Fancy with Iggy Azalea. She's had recently, Good Ones is one. She's had I Don't Care, I Love It with Icono Pop. Like she's really built some big hits in her day, but she's never been like the front runner, right?
Yeah.
She did have a good album come out lately that was her, like, she's had all these albums come out actually the whole time that are under her own personal brand and everything,
Yeah.
but they've never really quite popped off quite like Brat, which is her new album that's come out now. And so she's been grinding. She's a DJ, so she's like making this music. We watched her on live a couple days ago, like create a track live with her fans. Like she literally builds the lyrics, is a DJ, super talented. She's been working on this craft for years, and finally she's at #1, like across the UK where she lives. She's a UK artist. And Taylor Swift releases her 15th version of the Tortured Poets Society album, the recent album, which is like totally mediocre, right at the same time. So that, and she's done this to Billie Eilish with a version of this album.
Yeah.
She's done this with Beyonce and a boy band, a Tease. She's done it with a few different artists at this point, where it's like it's at version 15, so it's like not even a change of the album. It's literally just like she'll add a few voice notes or change like one version of the song or add one like new
like acoustic
remix,
version?
Yes, and then release the album. And she did this in the UK, and it's like it's just starting to give bully behavior, and it seems super intentional.
Oh yeah, it does seem intentional, but it is like kind of cool.
She just wants to cling.
She's a mastermind. Like I don't know how to. It's kind of cool and it's kind of scary. Like you don't want to like mess with her. Like it's like she's like the godfather of like the music industry. Like she decides like who's gonna go #1, who doesn't. Just like no, you're not ready yet, Charli. Sorry. You're not ready to be #1 yet.
Oh my
you're
God,
not ready yet.
that's true.
Sorry, you're not ready. You're not ready. You haven't kissed the ring yet.
But does that even count when you're just putting out the same thing?
It does, because I know it shouldn't. They should change that.
There should be a rule about that.
But the thing is, like, if you
should.
get to be #1,
That's absolutely a good point.
the thing is, if you get to be #1,
Yeah.
it is like
But
it
do
is.
you have respect? Like, I don't know. Do people actually respect
It's
that?
it's not
Exactly.
that she's like getting the #1 spot back. It's like what Charli doesn't get. So when you go platinum, you get that framed photo that like when you saw Cribs and all those artists that got to go platinum, gold, you see those framed up on their wall.
Yeah.
And that's what you're taking away. You're taking away that framed moment. Because not many artists get to go platinum, diamond, gold. Like, you know what I mean? Not many people have it.
Yeah.
And like you're saying with Charli, like it's been a slow burn to her get to be like seen as a solo artist as opposed to just someone featuring or putting on a beat. So like that's a huge thing to take away. Like that is just like
She's literally been going into clubs every night and doing fan like concerts, like party DJ sets to like promote this album. They're all dressing in lime green.
grassroots. Oh, cool.
Like she has these devout fan. Like I haven't stopped listening to it. It's awesome. It's so fun, and it's just so odd. It's like the Olivia Rodrigo thing where Taylor Swift just had to sue her because she sampled part of her song. Or,
It did sound very similar though, to be fair.
I mean, sure, but it's a little bit, it's just adding up. If it was all these individual things, it's like any artist that comes close to kind of surpassing her. And I don't know, is it her team? Maybe it's her team. They're just like, hey,
No.
if this stays consistent, you make more money.
Well,
But
I mean, she has a team, but she's moving.
in charge of the team,
She's
like-
moving the pawns on the chess table.
Yeah.
Like it's like what we're watching House of Dragon or like Game of Thrones. Like
Yeah.
she has
Yeah.
she has a hand, but she's still the queen. Like she's still like
Yeah.
she has people telling her what to do, but at the end of the day, she's the one making the decisions.
Yeah. It's like it's a greed thing at this point. It's just getting a little bit greedy. But when you're at the top, I guess people
Well, that's what it's going to be interesting because she is at
That's
the
what they
top.
have.
But what happens when you're not at the top? So do
Well,
you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
like when you would like she's wounded now. Let's get her. Like how does she become wounded? Like how? Because you can't get her. So like
Yeah.
how would she ever become wounded? What can she do? Like she has to be caught saying the N-word. Like that's
True. What could it even be?
I don't even know.
Just
like,
to shoot a puppy.
Like I don't even know.
I don't know.
Even
Trouble.
I think even the Swifties like that puppy had it coming. Like the Swifties like because
She was putting it out of its misery. He was about to die.
Because if she does go down like a peg, like if she gets knocked down, like people will like if there's blood in the water, people will come. The sharks
Yeah.
will come for it. But it's just like I don't think you can get this girl. Like I don't
Yeah.
like it's gonna be hard to get her off #1.
But Audrey, you're saying she's caught for something?
She got caught saying some. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was kind of racist, and so she had Ice Spice like go on her tour like to try to like compensate for her. So even when there was like a hint
Yeah.
of like something bad. Like
She
she's
gets it.
already on
Get
top
Ice
of it.
Spice,
Or
a non-threatening artist who
Yeah.
kind of looks black, but not enough to like threaten her white fan base.
Right.
Yeah.
Not enough to intimidate.
Enough to scare.
Not enough to scare them or intimidate them.
We don't
Her
want sexy
flying
red, you know?
Yeah, she's not.
Her flying from like her living room to, 7-Eleven for her daily, snack is starting to become a little bit of a problem for her. But other than that, not much criticism has come out.
Yeah.
No, just like that from other artists. But even that, it's just like
It's not enough.
it's not enough. Well, even like the thing is like she kills it with kindness. Like even even the Foo Fighters, they took shots at Taylor and she handled it beautifully. So the Foo Fighters, like they're playing live and they're like, oh, sorry. They kind of messed up a song. Like, oh, we're going to call this the Errors Tour because we play live. And sometimes we make mistakes because we play
Right.
live.
Yes.
And then her next concert,
Yeah.
she goes up on stage and she starts introducing the band, naming them one by one. And like, this is the hardest working band. They play their asses off live every night. Just very subtly. There you go, Dave Grohl. Nice try.
Yeah.
And Dave Grohl's been in the industry for like 30 years. He was in Nirvana. He had to deal with Courtney Love. So this guy knows how to deal with some crazy bitches, but he's met his match. It's just like, that was just, mwah, chef
She
kiss.
keeps it.
Yeah.
Keeps it real tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charli XCX opened for her, and she did have some bad blood because, well, I don't know if this was intentional or a Taylor being extremely sensitive, but Charli opened for her, and then in an interview later, she was saying how like it was so fun, but like she could really tell that 5-year-olds weren't her audience, and that's who's at Taylor Swift concerts, right? So it was like interesting, like it was whatever. She just brought that up, and she's very straightforward. She's not like. She's like, this is who I am kind of girl. Like, It's not like she's going to beat around the bush and be like, it was the best experience of my life. Like, but Taylor probably took that personally and just like felt sensitive about it. But I think that is like, there's clearly that is kind of getting to Taylor that it's like, yeah, you have your audience that like huge audience and your money and your billionaire status, but you don't have like the it girl factor or the cool girl factor. Like Charli XCX did a whole music video about like all of the it girls. It was kind of like a funny joke in a way too, but it's like all of these kind of underground it girls because she kind of identifies with that, and she's definitely had her moments of going into #1 hits too and being in the mainstream spotlight. But yeah, I bet that kind of makes Taylor feel weird. Like you can tell Taylor's obsessed with Lana Del Rey for a similar reason, and like I don't know. There's like
She doesn't have that edge.
yeah, she'll
Yeah.
never really have that edge. She's so clean, and that's what works, and that's what keeps her at that #1. So all she has is that like money making top like status. She just wants to be like the multi-billionaire artist, like the first one ever,
And number one.
keep that.
Yeah.
Because I think she might be the first like billionaire artist from her actual music. So
Yeah, well, it's hard to argue any artist being as big as her. Like Michael Jackson, probably. I mean, that's probably she's up there with Michael Jackson as like one of the biggest touring recording artists of all time.
yeah,
Which is pretty
she
crazy.
is. Yeah,
It's
she's gone world tour over and over and over. She's finally gonna end the tour. Probably have a kid, but yeah. Charli wrote a song about her too on her album, so that's why the beef has been really solidified. It's kind of proof.
Was there any juicy lyrics, like just Cole's notes?
She just said that she actually was very vulnerable about it and was like, I'll never be able to beat you. Like we're in completely different lanes. And, but she did say she doesn't want Taylor to be at her boyfriend's show and kind of hopes that they break up. And she doesn't like her being too close to her because she'll never beat her, basically, is what she was
Did she
saying.
say any like backhanded things like, I really admire how confident you are being the tallest person around a lot of men?
No. That's genius, though. Gotta recommend it. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the daily recap. I don't know,
Yeah.
or the weekly recap.
So a weekly recap. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think we just like calling out people like when they try to do these publicity stunts where it's just like trying to act like normal people. So it's just like that's what we like calling out.
Yeah.
We're not really haters, but we just don't like insincerity and like when an artist is sincere and like if Justin Timberlake just had a DUI and be like, hey, I have an alcohol problem, then like we wouldn't have gone in on it. But the fact that he was just so like juvenile about the whole thing and like it's lame.
Yeah. And if Kylie took ownership for the fact that she did set these unrealistic standards and she feels guilty about it,
Yeah.
we'd all be like, that's cool.
Yeah, but like,
Thanks for having some
like,
self-awareness for
sorry,
once.
I have a crazy mom. And people are like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can relate to that. People are like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, if you say, yeah, I have a crazy mom and like I just have unrealistic standards put on me,
Yeah.
a lot of people will be able to relate to that.
Yeah. And
But
we'd be
no-
like, wow, one of them's normal. We like it.
Yeah.
But no, you have to turn it on us and gaslight us.
Yeah.
And we don't, when we see through it. We see
Yeah, I
through
feel
the
like
BS.
I Photoshop my legs, not because of cellulite, because I cut myself. Then I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that. No,
Anyway. Well, subscribe. Thanks for listening. And like this video if you enjoyed it. Follow us on Instagram. We'll put our Instagram below. And yeah, happy
Yeah,
hump
peace.
day.